Oh my goodness. I haven't done this in literally years. So when we're talking about ADHD and stuff, oh, look at this. Hi there, my name is Megan and I am an autistic and ADHD author, content creator, and life coach, and welcome to my kitchen. And today we're doing something a little bit different. Today we are gonna make something called Oobleck. Now, if you're not from the Midwest, you may not know what that is, but don't worry, I will explain. And the reason we're making Oobleck is because I actually had a life coaching client use it as a really awesome metaphor for ADHD and self-love. And I just thought it would be easier for me to explain that metaphor if I actually made the Oobleck. So first and foremost, what even is Oobleck? What is that word I keep saying? Well, like I said before, Oobleck is the name for it in the Midwest. I'm sure there are other names elsewhere, but basically Oobleck is a kind of homemade slime. You combine cornstarch with some water and it does some really cool things physics-wise. Basically, Oobleck is not definitely a solid or definitely a liquid. It's in a very strange in-between, and it's what is called a non-Newtonian fluid, because it kind of throws Newton's 3 states of matter to the wind. Okay, so for this next portion, I was gonna show you how to make Oobleck. I was gonna show you me adding the ingredients and all this stuff, and then I realized I filmed with a little piece in the way of the lens. So instead, you're just gonna see me play with Oobleck a little bit from this angle, as I tell you about what Oobleck has to do with ADHD and self-love. So ADHD and self-love can feel kind of like this. It just slips through your fingers. You want to love yourself, but it feels like if you don't push yourself, if you're not hard on yourself, then you just can't hold on to anything. You can't hold on to self-love or motivation, any of it. And then it feels like, what's there to love? But then on the other hand, if you really put a ton of pressure on yourself and you squeeze it in your hand really hard, it turns into a solid for just a second. And then that is hard to deal with, right? And the really hard thing about ADHD is this back and forth, right? This squeeze, try really hard, motivate yourself, usually with shame. And then the moment you stop, it just turns back into a liquid. It just slips right back through your fingers. And it can feel like the only solution, the only way to have any motivation is to just be really mean to yourself and shame yourself all the time. And that creates a really negative relationship with self-love, obviously. You know you need to get shit done. You've been telling yourself that you need to be more productive for I don't know, a decade now, maybe longer, and it's just not happening. That's exactly why I made the Get Shit Done program. This is a 6-month group coaching program designed specifically for autistic, ADHD, and otherwise neurodivergent folks who want to be more productive without burning out. Each month, we will focus on a different facet of productivity, starting with setting goals that you actually want to achieve. Because it's one thing to tell yourself you need to get shit done, you need to be more productive, but what does that mean? What actually needs to happen? What specific tasks are you facing, and why are they giving you trouble? In the first month of the Get Shit Done program, we will break all of that down and learn to set goals that actually matter to you. Month 2 is all about self-love, or at least self-like. Month 3 is called Fuck the System, because frankly, I think it's irresponsible to run a productivity program in the year of our Lord 2025 without talking about the impact that white supremacy and capitalism and patriarchy has on our productivity. Month 4 is all about how to externalize your motivation so that you don't always have to rely on feeling like it in order to get stuff done. Month 5 is all about how to relax, because relaxation and productivity are opposite sides of the same coin. And finally, month 6 is all about how to continue making productivity progress even after this program ends. We meet twice a week, once for group coaching, where you can ask your questions and get advice and connect with the community, and once for skills calls, which is where I actually teach you all of the things I have learned over the years about executive dysfunction and productivity and how to get shit done. The cost for the program is $697, which, if you break it down to 2 calls a week for 6 months, comes out to $14 an hour. And if $14 an hour for life coaching seems pretty reasonable to you, but you still don't have that $697, payment plans are absolutely available. Currently, doors are closed for the Get Shit Done program, but they will reopen in mid-October, and our next cohort will start at the beginning of November. If you're anything like me, you're definitely gonna forget that, so go to the description below and get on the waitlist now. So I know now you're probably thinking, great. So I have this Oobleck non-Newtonian relationship with motivation that creates this Oobleck non-Newtonian relationship with self-love. What am I supposed to do about this? Because this sounds terrible. And the answer, just like with Oobleck, is you're supposed to play. When you play with Oobleck, and you like keep moving it from hand to hand, you can actually kind of turn it into something like a sort of weird in-between state of matter that you can actually hold in your hands, which as soon as I show you and let go, it stops working. But when you play with Oobleck, it gives you some control back. And I think the exact same thing is true when you talk about motivation and self-love with ADHD. I think as soon as you introduce an element of play, you get a lot of agency back. And this is really counterintuitive because ADHDers are often told like not to play. I mean, how many times were you told growing up like, oh, just finish your homework first and then you can play? Play was always treated like a reward, or worse, an afterthought. But play is actually how ADHDers work. It's not a reward. It's not an afterthought. It is part of our process. The movement and joy and low stakes nature of play makes work so much more doable for ADHDers. And it also means that we don't have to beat ourselves up, because beating ourselves up, we don't do it because we think it works. We do it because we think we deserve it. We think that we're bad at doing stuff, when in reality, we just need to do stuff in a way that's actually fun. And I think a lot of ADHDers then beat themselves up for needing to have fun in order to do stuff, because that's not considered very adult. That's considered very childish. But I think that that's silly. You work the way you work. And I think spending your energy trying to change the way you work instead of just working the way that works for you is a waste of time and energy. It's what neuronormative society wants us to do, because neuronormative society wants everyone to act normal according to ableist and white supremacist ideals. But I don't think we actually have to do it. I think like maybe screw that a little bit. So yeah, I guess the point of today's video is, one, I really wanted to make Oobleck. I haven't made Oobleck in years, and this was truly joyous for me. 2, play is the key to everything. And 3, if you're an ADHDer who's also autistic, which is very common by the way, you also get the sensory joy of playing with Oobleck. For some, I'm sure for some this is a sensory nightmare, but for a lot of us, this feels really great. Oh, and number 4, my clients are the best and smartest people in the world who come up with the coolest metaphors. And if you would like to become one of my clients, you can go to the description and hop on the waitlist for the Get Shit Done program. And I'll see you all next time.